All right, sixth graders, we're talking about trumpets, and we're talking about how we set them up. We're talking about how we oil them, how to play them, and how to put them away. We have some do's and some do not do's. You guys are in luck. Trumpet is possibly the easiest instrument to set up, but may also have the hardest thing about getting it to work if it doesn't work. So let's start with the trumpet case. There's actually a bad example of this trumpet case, and that's the latches. So these latches here were open, and they're a little different for every case. So this one, it looks like there's a lock, and you might think, oh, Mr. Dean, I don't have a key. What am I ever going to do? Well, if you take that lock, push it to the side, it'll pop right up. Okay. Some of the others may have like the other latches. We'll find that out. But the rule is, don't pick up your trumpet case unless the latches are closed. Let's do the other one. Boom! And we have a trumpet inside here. This is a little bit of an older trumpet, but you know what's cool about trumpets? They last a long time, even if they're beat up by middle schoolers for 30 years. So, and there's really only two parts we have to worry about. We have the mouthpiece right here. There's usually like a hole with a little mouthpiece storage area. There's some other storage. So I'm going to pull out the mouthpiece here. Put it on a clean surface, take out the trumpet. Try to remember how it went in, by the way. Some of these trumpet cases are a little tricky to figure out. And now they have the two important pieces. And put this case off to the side. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Let's talk about this trumpet. When you put in the mouthpiece, you don't have to like jam it in. This is a pretty basic scenario. You're just going to place it in. And you put a tiny bit of pressure and give it a little tiny twist. And that's it. You're ready to go. And then let's talk about how to hold the trumpet. Okay, check this out. We have this little hook right here. That's actually for your right pinky, that hook. Okay, and then your thumb can kind of rest down over here somewhere. So your thumb can rest over here on the sides of these valves. You can even see where the kid's been putting their thumb for 30 years. And then 1, 2, 3. And those are the numbers of the valves here on the trumpet. So 1, 2, 3. We have all the valves. We have the pinky. And then your other hand, this one's like you can kind of grab on with this side. You can put your pinky over there. And then I'm going to bring it up and give it a shot here. So let's talk about making our first sound. I'm going to bring the mouthpiece up. And I'm going to make what's called an embouchure here. So it's not like a kissy face. You're not going to stick your lips out. You just kind of keep them normal. You think, first of all, So think about something, say a and then you're going to put a little bit of air through those lips. Now, notice how my sound was nice and smooth, and it didn't have any, if you're feeling kind of like this, like those are wobbles in there. Try to keep your air nice and smooth. Try to make a nice smooth sound. Now if you're feeling like nothing's coming out at all, you might have to relax. Go back. And one really helpful thing I find is to unplug your mouthpiece and just work with the mouthpiece. And there's some different exercises that you can do just to kind of get your lips doing what they need to do. A couple things. Notice how my cheeks aren't puffing out. I'm keeping my face relaxed, but I kind of have these muscles right here holding everything in place. Maybe you can make high and low sounds. These are all good sounds to try out, and then plug it back in and try it again. A little quarter twist. I'm not going to get into too much about the valves, but let's talk about what if a valve sticks? You push it down and it doesn't come back up. Or maybe it does, but it waits a second. That is what's called a sticky valve. Now, this is where the trumpet player difficulties come in. So I'm going to bring my camera down here a little bit, and we're going to talk about sticky valves, okay? So we have the mouthpiece. Let's talk about valves. 1, 2, 3. We start counting from the mouthpiece. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now there's a little tiny threaded area. Thread's like a screw, so they made like a threaded area that screws off like a screw. And you twist that really lightly. And what we do is when you untwist that, and eventually that cap kind of comes off, you can pull it out. Now, I have a big recommendation. Only do one of these at a time. One at a time. Don't pull them all out. That's a bad idea. You'll get them mixed up, and they're not interchangeable. This one has to go in number 1, this one has to be number 2, and this one has to be number 3. So make sure that if you pulled the number 1 out, that you only pull the number 1 out, okay? Now, if you have a rag or something, it might be a good time to wipe it off. But I'm going to talk about this stuff right here. You may have noticed this. This is key oil, something you never even thought about before. Trumpet oil especially for trumpets. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to put that on the finger part. I'm going to put that on the moving part in here. Now, this is going to move up and down inside this piston over here, inside this chamber. And it's going to be opening and closing extra tubing to make the trumpet do its job. And I'm going to go and I'm just going to put little bits. Some trumpet players like really douse this. You won't really need to douse it. You just put a little bit. You're going to coat it, if even. Just put little tiny bits until you feel like it's mostly on there. And then you're going to put it back in. Okay? Now this is where you just can't put it back in. So you put it back in, and then I would give it like a little twist. And then every single trumpet, you put it down, and you're going to twist clockwise. That's like the clock, not the digital clock, kids, the school clock. And then I'm going to twist clockwise, and eventually you're going to hear a nice snap. I got it. Good. And then that's the right place for it to be. This is built in with that special little snapping feature. So I'm going to put it back in. I'm going to twist until I hear the snap. There it was. See, that only happened just a little bit. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to turn it around a little bit, try to get it in the wrong place. Put it down, twist until I hear the snap. Might not always happen the first time. There it was. That was a very clear snap for me. And now it's in the right place. Okay? Twist that threading all the way back. Test my valve. It's working, I guess, just as good as it was before. It should be working better. And then before you do anything, you test it. Because when you bring it up to your lips and you play it, it should make that sound. If it sounds pinched or even stopped, that means that you may have put that valve in the wrong direction and the air is moving in places that it really shouldn't. I'm going to do an example of that really quick. So if you put in the valve in wrong, I'm going to even just do a tiny little turn out so where it's in the wrong place. That sounds weird to me. Kind of like sound. It's really hard. There's a lot of pressure. It feels like I can't even blow through it. That means the valve's in wrong, and I have to go back, loosen this up, get it to where it's clicking, screw it back down, and that means my valve's incorrect. It's back having great tone. So you hear that pinchy sound? Probably your valve in wrong. And you're going to do that solution on every single valve. I don't know. Beginning band, you may not have to do it every day, but you should start thinking about doing it every day. That's a good start. So maybe do it like maybe every other day, twice a week. Go in and just kind of oil the valves. Maybe wipe them off with a cloth too. That's pretty much the only maintenance you need to do. Now here's the other maintenance thing you have to think about. Are these right here. These are called water keys. Okay, they're going to let out the water. I'm going to wipe this down in a second, but if I open this up here, maybe a drip comes out. Maybe it's even a whole dribble. If you hear a gurgle, that means that you've been blowing so much hot air through here that the water will collect at the bottom of this tube, and you got to let it out, and it's like a little secret hole. Talk to your parents about what you want to do. In my house, we just let it out at the floor, but some people like having an extra rag to leave on the ground. In the band room, it's fine to leave it on the floor. Other places, you got to bring yourself a rag, but think about the water key. And when you're done playing, now is actually the important part, how to put away the trumpet. So we get out our case. The latches were already closed, so we reopen the latches, open the case, and here comes the big moment. pulling out the mouthpiece. It should be that easy. If it's any more difficult, that means you probably have bopped it a little bit. Never bop your mouthpiece. And now I got to remember how to put my trumpet in. You know, your first time you do this, it might be like, oh, I don't know. But with a little luck, wow, I even messed that up. You're going to find the right direction. Move it in. Now this case looks like it has enough space for your music. It does not. Please never put your music in the case. It like presses up against the trumpet and might bend it. So you can put accessories in here. You can put your special trumpet oils inside the case. And but that's it. Your music, that goes in your backpack. Snap those in, or however your snaps work. And then that is actually the most important step, so you can pick it up. And if you don't have your snaps going, that trumpet's going to fly out. Take good care of your trumpet. Reminder, oil your valves. Let out your water key. Try to keep it dry. Take good care of it. And most importantly, play every day. And that's exactly what I want you guys to be doing. This process that we did, taking your trumpet out, playing a couple notes, noticing if you have a stuck key, using your trumpet oils, using your valve oil, that's what we call it, and fixing that issue. And then when you're all done, packing it back up. If you do that a little bit every day, over the course of the week, you will improve, guaranteed. All right, my friends, happy practicing, and good luck with those trumpets.